Hello, everybody. My name is Ceylan Isgor-Locke. I am a neuroscientist by training for 20 years. I do research on epilepsy and brain health. I am here in front of you today because of my undying passion in plant nutrition. I am a believer of plant nutrition for the last 2 years. I'll tell you a little bit about my story first, and a few things about why I believe in plant nutrition the way I do. About 8 years ago, when I was 40 years old, I became pregnant with my first daughter, our only daughter. I have some that I'm my daughters through marriage, but my own daughter. And when I gave birth at the age of 40, I experienced a magnitude of deficit in my body that hit me in the face. I couldn't get out of bed. I was lethargic. My hair was falling off in bunches, and my skin and my gum health was just terrible. I thought, if this is how people get cancer, I think I must have some kind of cancer. So I was going from one doctor to another, trying to figure out what was wrong with me. I came to the conclusion after a while, no doctor was able to diagnose me with anything, but I came to the conclusion that I will have to live like that for the rest of my life. It was just, there was no going back to where I was before I gave birth. So at that time, I came in contact with about plant nutrition, raw, vegan diet, and I didn't take those things that seriously until my good friend Kim Douglas told me about Juice Plus and a convenient way to take, high density and variety of plants every single day. So she had to actually twist my arm, because I'm a scientist, so I don't believe much of anything that I hear. I have to be convinced. So she showed me, she was smart enough to show me 35 plus clinical studies in peer-reviewed journals, and the journals that I know and I respect, showing multiple benefits of Juice Plus, ranging from cardiovascular health to brain health to skin, to immunity, all these things. At the same time I was experiencing this, our daughter also was a very sickly child. She was going from one antibiotic regimen to next. She was having bilateral ear infections almost every month. It was a terrible thing. If you have a child who've had ear infections, you will know to wake up in the middle of the night when the kid is screaming with pain, high fever, had to be away from school. I had to be away from my laboratory and my medical teaching position. So it was a terrible thing to handle. So we were actually thinking about having inner ear tubing surgery on our daughter at the age of 5 years old, 4 going on 5. And it was a terrible surgery to even think about. So I immediately started taking Juice Plus capsules, 30 fruits, vegetables, and berries, and I put our daughter on it. And I didn't expect much of anything, to be honest with you, even though I read about the science. Within the first month, when my hair stopped coming out in chunks and bunches, and I actually was able to get out of bed and started having like a skip in my step, and just feeling vivacious, energy coming back again, I knew something was going on. And our daughter's the ear infections and the chronic sinus infection went away about 3 months into it and never came back. We haven't been to the pediatrician's office for about 2 years now. And I know this because our daughter, I don't keep tabs of it, but our daughter is switched to a new school. And when you switch to a new school, they ask for health records. And when I asked my pediatrician to forward Patricia's health records, they came back and said, well, you have to come to the office. And I said, why? Because you haven't been here over a year and we have to see Patricia. So that's how I knew we haven't been, and I put my husband on it. He just weaned himself off of cholesterol medication for good. He has had high cholesterol since his 40s, and he's 64 years old. He's a performing artist. He does very strenuous exercise all day long as a performing dancer. He has a dance troupe. And for us, it was a huge liability that he had high blood pressure and high cholesterol. Both of those medications we were able to wean my husband off of. As of 3 months ago, his blood panel came back within normal range, first time in many decades. So that's my little story about Juice Plus. And in general, in plant nutrition, I just wanted to tell you a little bit. I'm not going to be able to show you the slides, but let me just give you a little bit of an overview what plant nutrition can do for you and why it's a good idea to give mind to it and give it a thought. Since you tuned in tonight, I'm imagining that you want to consider it. So there are two startling trends in the world that we live in. Number one trend is that we have a lot of environmental toxins in our environment, and they're in increasing proportions. Environmental toxins come to us through air we breathe and the water we consume. Our waterways are contaminated, and that contamination is spreading every day. At the same time, as we're fighting environmental toxins in large and large amounts, our food quality is also decreasing. So when we go to the grocery store and you look through the aisles, you pick up items and you look at the label and you read them, you'll see that they're filled with preservatives, flavor enhancers, emulsifiers, and trans fatty acids and pesticides. And it is virtually impossible to pick something that is truly nutritional, that is a high quality food. This situation is so bad that actually they have detected pollution in newborns. A benchmark investigation showed that industrial chemicals and pollutants and pesticides can be detected in human umbilical cord blood. So it goes into the baby, even a fetus, even when the fetus is in mother's womb. So Daniel Amen is a medical doctor, and he actually said the true weapons of mass destruction is actually the foods we eat, because they're highly processed, they're pesticide sprayed, they're artificially colored and sweetened, they're highly glycemic, the glycemic index is really high, low in fiber, they're laden with hormones, and tainted with antibiotics. So in truth, the food we eat should be considered a weapon of mass destruction. So what are the solutions? How can we get help? See, that's where I was at when I was facing my own health challenge. I was keenly aware of the fact that I hit the rock bottom and I needed to come up for air. The solution is really very simple, going back to basics, and that is going back to whole foods. So what is the difference, for example, between multivitamins that we reach for? Go to that whole food store and grab that multivitamin, multimineral to help your health versus the whole food. See, whole foods have so many micronutrients in them. One apple has about 10,000 micronutrients. You cannot possibly put them in a label. So as opposed to multivitamins, the best in the market has about 10 or 15 blends. So 10,000 micronutrients versus 10 or 15 isolated multivitamin tablet. There is no comparison. The Harvard School of Public Health actually came up with a declaration, made a bunch of studies and declaration that vegetables and fruits are an important part of a healthy diet, and variety. Now, variety is as important as quantity. So we are people of habit. We go to grocery store. If you're like me, you go through the aisles and you pick up the same things every week, or maybe twice a week if you're lucky. You go to the grocery store. I go once a week. So we are creatures of habit, and the quality, even if the quality is high, the quantity is very limited. I get the same apple, same orange, same banana. So no single fruit or vegetable provides all of the nutrients we need. We need to eat not only high amounts, but also need to eat plenty every day. So today that we live, considering the agricultural practices that we're facing, we need to be eating at least, as a healthy human, at least 7 to 13 servings of fruits, vegetables every single day. High variety and organically grown and vine ripened and possibly herbicide, pesticide free. So how are we going to do that? That brought me to this idea of bridging the gap. We do the best we can when we recognize the importance of our body running on plant fuel. We do not have any other fuel that our body is designed to operate with. It is plants or it is disease. So if you're aware of that, and what do? We eat as good as we can. We try to reach for organic produce, but we have to bridge the gap between what we should be eating and what we are getting. So Juice Plus, these are called salad in a capsule, and they're called salad in a capsule for a very good reason, because they are 45 different whole foods. It has a food label, not a medication label. They're non-GMO, dairy-free, gluten-free. Most importantly, they're third-party quality assured. They're NSF certified. This is a third-party NSF that comes in multiple times a year and checks to see that what is on the label is actually what is in the product. Not many nutritional supplements out there can actually claim that. Most, 90% of them, are not third-party assured, and even less of them are actually clinically studied. We have over 35 published clinical studies showing that our nutritional supplement actually is bioavailable. It's absorbed into the body. It goes to the organ systems, cardiovascular system, immune system, skeletal system, and delivers what it claims it will deliver. Juice Plus Complete Shakes, this is how we start our days in my family. It's a plant protein shake. They are macronutrients, so we have micronutrients and macronutrients that we take every day. Our plant protein shake is the substitute for our breakfast. So that's our breakfast for myself, my husband, our 7-year-old. It is low glycemic. It stabilizes blood sugar spikes like nothing else I've tried. It's vegan, gluten and dairy-free, and plant-based, absolutely plant-based, powerful prebiotic fibers that you get out of them. So in addition, I'll say that we also have just recently launched plant-based omegas. These are omega blend of omega-3, 5, 6, 7, and 9 in a capsule. They are absolutely coming from plants: algae oil, tomato seed oil, raspberry seed oil, safflower seed oil, and even the capsules themselves are vegan capsules. So I will quickly switch to our special focus today after just this little blip that I give you about how important plant nutrition is and a convenient way to bridge the gap, and that we should all think about. Today's focus is autoimmune diseases. Autoimmune diseases are caused by poor diet, environmental toxins, what we talked about just now, chronic stress, which we live with all days of our lives, leaky gut, antibiotic regimens like my daughter was going through over and over again because of ear infections, pregnancy, menopause, that hormonal change that women go through, drugs and medications that you're put on, that you're taking every day, inflammation in the gut. This is absolutely very critical. Inflammation is a silent killer. It's the root cause of all illness. If you Google it, you will see it's been published over and over again. It leads to overactive immune response. So when your immune system is too busy constantly fighting contaminants, invaders, then it cannot respond and it cannot do its usual job because it's overly concerned with inflammation every single day. This ends up creating a loss of balance and homeostasis in your body. And that is how autoimmune disease starts to raise its ugly head. So if you could target this inflammation early on, we might be able to fight off autoimmune disease. There are 23.5 million people, more women than men, that are affected by autoimmune disease. There are more than 80 known autoimmune diseases such as lupus, multiple sclerosis, chronic fatigue syndrome, Crohn's disease, rheumatoid arthritis, psoriasis, irritable bowel, juvenile type 1 diabetes, Hashimoto's, Graves' disease, Addison disease. The list goes on. You may have had a family member affected by it, if not you, by one of these 80 conditions that are known. So I'm going to turn it over to a good friend, Roe Melnicove, who is a guest tonight, and she will tell you a riveting story about her own battle with an autoimmune disease, lupus. Go ahead, Ro.
Thank you, Ceylan. As Dr. Locke said, my name is Roe Melnicove, and I'm a National Marketing Director for the Juice Plus Company. I'm formerly an elementary teacher and an adjunct college professor. I resigned teaching to join this phenomenal company in their mission to inspire healthy living over 23 years ago. Why, you might say, would I leave my tenure, my pension, and a nice salary behind to join a marketing company when I had no marketing experience? Well, my story began in a hospital bed. The doctors were trying to figure out how to use gravity to assist in getting the water out of my legs without having to lie me down, because it would result in excruciating pain from the pleurisy in my chest. You see, my kidneys were failing secondary to the systemic lupus, which I was diagnosed with when I was 22 in college. I suffered with arthritis, liver involvement, bowel problems, 2 kidney failures, and I was always tired, achy, and lethargic. I had a horrible condition called Raynaud's, where the circulation in my hands and feet were so poor that they were cold and painful, turning blue and even white, where it looked as if no blood was running through my veins. I took tons of medicines and vitamins to no avail. I changed my diet to what I thought was a wholesome one, but I still had flares. The side effects of the over-the-counter and prescription medications were a torture in and of themselves. Hair grew on the sides of my face from the high dosage of prednisone, while I lost my hair from the Cytoxan, a form of chemo I was given intravenously to diffuse the inflammation in my kidneys. Being on both of them at the same time resulted in my metabolism going into overdrive, and my weight plummeted to 85 pounds. I did not look very healthy because I'm still 5'3". I was administered these drugs. I was told by MD to avoid me going on dialysis. If they did not work, that was my next step. To add more insult to injury, my former husband of 13 years said to me, "You're too sick for me to stay with you. I want a divorce." We divorced in 1989. It took 3.5 months of me detoxing from the medications with the Juice Plus for me to even notice a difference in my health. I certainly had a lot of toxins in my body. As I continuously got better, my rheumatologist weaned me off the medications. Juice Plus lowered the inflammation in my body. It contributed to a healthier immune system. It improved my hair and skin, improved my circulation, gave me so many other health benefits. It truly gave me the nutrition I needed for my body to heal itself. I also started to crave more fruits and vegetables. I also might add that with feeling better, I had energy I needed to make other lifestyle changes. Today, I work out at the gym 5 days a week, doing kickboxing classes, lifting weights, step classes, and more. I run on the weekends 4 to 7 miles, depending on my schedule. Not bad for a girl that had a hard time opening a bottle cap and was always tired. My rheumatologist said I cured myself, but in reality, I did not cure myself. My body had the nutrition it needed to heal itself. Now, what I would like to do is I'd like to give you some tips to live better if you have an autoimmune challenge, or if you're on here tonight to share it with someone else. Reduce your stress to reduce your flares. You might consider meditation or yoga or some form of exercise to relax. Exercise regularly. I like to go to the gym and run on the weekends, but you might consider just walking or biking. The best exercise for you is the one that you will do consistently. Eat healthy. The foundation for good nutrition is lots of fruits and vegetables, so eat them every day. The last couple of years, I have removed gluten from my diet and went to the next level of health. Gluten provides no essential nutrients and causes inflammation. For at least 15 years, I've taken in no dairy. There's no evidence that dairy is good for your bones. If you're eating a nutrient-dense diet, you will get your calcium through those foods. Add Juice Plus or shakes and our omegas to fill in the gaps in your diets. Ceylan explained extensively how flooding your body with these produce powders that were selected for their high nutritional content and the omega oils will impact your overall health. You need more concentrated nutrition than the average person. I also love that we get probiotics with our Juice Plus fruit, vegetable, and berry capsules along with our shakes, as well as our enzymes to help us digest our food. Get 8 to 9 hours of sleep each night. That's when your body heals. Avoid being in the sun too long, no more than 20 minutes at a time. And finally, get your vitamin D levels checked by your doctor. You may need to supplement. I have been symptom-free with energy and vitality with no medications for over 20 years doing these things. I also might add, I have to tell you this, I married my divorce attorney. We have 2 healthy young men, Tyler, 24, and Dustin, 19. Can you imagine that after being told I would never conceive? I, at the age of 37 and then 41, had those babies. Today, at 51, I'm healthier than I was in my 20s. Hopefully you can see my passion to pay it forward and my great desire to help people with autoimmune diseases and anything that they're struggling with today. I joined the Juice Plus business to give people hope, tools, strategies to improve their health and their lifestyle as it has done for me. My team and I have helped people with various health challenges, elite athletes, and people that want to stay on the side of prevention. What attracted me to this business was its simplicity and its flexibility. I was able to go on all my kids' class trips, attend their athletic events, and be there for them. There is no greater freedom than being able to do the things you love with those that you love. That's what the Juice Plus company can offer you. My team and I essentially share Juice Plus and our business with others on calls and videos like this, one-on-one, and through live educational events. I more than replaced my income from teaching kindergarten and college students. I receive our corporate package that is comparable to many CEOs in big businesses, nothing like I would ever receive as a teacher. Our business is for people that want to help people while helping themselves. Our business is for people with full-time jobs, to moms that have full-time jobs, taking care of their kids. People do our business for various reasons, perhaps to contribute to a household, to make a car payment, or to put a child through school. For some like me, it has become my full-time mission. Keep in mind, it's possible to have an income while choosing where you want to work, when you want to work, and with whom you want to work. Me and thousands of others are living proof of it. We invite you to get back to the person that invited you to this call and have an authentic conversation to see how you could weave this into your life, or at least get them started with the Juice Plus. You too can acquire more purpose, more fun, and help so many people along the way while being compensated. Back to you, Ceylan.
Thank you, Ro. This was the first time I have actually heard you speak about your story in person. And I'm so glad to actually meet you and learn about your health journey, because it's inspirational, it's educational, and it's full of hope. For me, I am a newbie considered compared to, Kim, our friend, and Ro, you. But in 2 years, our family gotten so much health transformation that we weren't able to accomplish in the last 2 decades, that I was so inspired to join this mission. And our mission is about heart and love and loving our body, the temple that we are given and entrusted, and transforming our own family's health, but also provide hope and transformation to others. I am a researcher, as I said, and I do a lot of, we work quite hard in the laboratory just for that one little finding that you find, and that impact perhaps humanity's health. But in this business, I'm able to impact people's health directly and much more rapidly. And that's what I enjoy and take delight in being a part of. So we are a proactive group. We invite you, just like Rose said, please, if what you hear inspires you and you want to learn about it, or you want to get yourself or your loved ones started with flooding their bodies with plant nutrition, contact the person who invited you to get more lead and more information. And also, if you're inspired, to join us, because we need an army of people to turn the disease statistics into health statistics, like Kim says, my good friend. And I believe her, because every day I hear bad news about somebody I know who's going through, or you just got a diagnosis that they have to now battle with. Chronic disease is everywhere and affects all of us. So thank you for joining us. And I'm going to, I guess we'll unmute to get a couple of questions, if there's any questions in the audience or any comments. Let me see. How do we unmute?
They're all unmuted, Ceylan. Oh. They're all unmuted.
Okay. Well, if there's no questions or comments, we will just say good night and say good night to each other. And thank you for coming and being proactive about your health starts with education. And we provide these webinars frequently. And the person who mentioned to you about Juice Plus can provide information about our next webinars. We generally have a focus for each one of them, and they're very lively and absolutely free to tune in and learn more.